Michelle, this is Rebecca. I think we're ready to begin.
Great. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. I'm Michelle Thomas with the East Central Regional Development Commission. We want to welcome you to Essential Marketing for today's business. We're so happy to have you join us. This event is the first of a three-part Building Stronger Businesses for 2021 and Beyond training series. The next workshops are scheduled for July 14th, which will focus on recruiting and retaining employees, and on August 11th, talking about understanding your business financials. We hope you can join us for those events as well, and registration is available on Eventbrite for those. Building Stronger Businesses for 2021 and Beyond has been developed in partnership with the Small Business Development Center and the Women's Business Alliance. ECRDC, or East Central Regional Development Commission, develops projects that create growth and help our East Central region of Minnesota thrive and prosper. The Small Business Development Center provides professional business consulting at no cost to small businesses in Minnesota. And the Women's Business Alliance provides women business owners with services to help them grow, finance, or start a business. We want you to know that we are recording this presentation. Slides and any other resources mentioned will be shared with you after the event and available on our website at ecrdc.org. If you have questions, please ask them in the Q&A field. A Q&A summary will be provided after the meeting if we are unable to get to your question during the event. The chat function is enabled, but please type all of your questions in the Q&A. Now I'd like to introduce our speaker for today. Molly Solberg of Mass Marketing has over 20 years of experience in marketing, PR, sales, social media, SEO, and digital marketing. She loves to train businesses to market for themselves and provides tools and training to do so. With that, I'll turn it over to you, Molly. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. And thank you everybody who's out there on site and who's joining us online. I am just going to be quickly switching over to my screen so that I'm able to. All right. Ready to go. So has everybody, this was an attachment that you received. It was, oh, my green screen here. It was a PDF that was included in the presentation, your essential marketing for today's business. So if you have it on site or if you're at home, maybe you can pull it up on your screen or print it out quick, because we will be using this as our activity book for the day. So we'll have some useful tools and tips that you'll be able to carry with you moving forward. This is the first of the 3 presentations that you will be hopefully signing up for the other 2. And this is the essential marketing for today's business, because a lot has changed in the past year as far as marketing goes. And I think everybody is ready to get back to what the new normal is, and they're ready to start buying your products or requesting your services, whether you're product-based or service-based. So this is, not an advanced training session. We're just going to really go back to the basics on what is marketing, so we have that solid foundation that we need moving forward. So marketing is so many different things. It is search engine optimization for your website. It's social media. It's talking to your customers. It's your ROI, return on investment. It's creating content. It's your pricing structure. It's having events. It's your branding. It encompasses all of these things. And it is hard as a small business owner to be able to keep track of all of these things. So we'll get a list of tools and just really concentrate. We'll talk about concentrating on the ones that are most important with the limited time and the limited dollars you have in your marketing budget. So that brings us to our packet. So hopefully you've used the last minute or two to look at your activity packet. which has on page 2 a marketing plan. So it is a good foundation. Even me as a sole proprietor, it was really helpful for me to sit down and fill this out, even though it's just me, to really have a clear mission and vision moving forward. So when I was getting new clients on, I made sure that they fit within the mission and vision that I wanted moving forward. And it was really helpful for me to realize my favorite part is this part, is the training part, is training businesses the tools they need to be successful in their marketing endeavors, and not so much the doing piece of it, doing the marketing piece, because I'm not there, I'm not in your business. So I can train you to be able to do that for yourself. So that really helped define and made my mission and vision much clearer, which made me much happier, which made my family much happier, and my life much happier. So no matter how small or how big you are, even if you have a mission statement already in place, it's always good to revise it. I'm on a few boards here in town. I'm in Duluth, and we try to revisit the mission statement every 5 years to make sure that we're on the right track. So what is a mission statement exactly? It is what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. And mission statements used to be a page long, several paragraphs long. There's been a new trend now to really make it as small and concise as you can, because then your employees are able to remember it. They're able to recite it to customers. Customers understand what it is, and you're creating a crystal clear mission statement. So we're going to have some time to work on our workbook, but right now I really want you to be thinking of what you do, how you do it, and why you do it. Here are some examples. I am on the Glen Sheen Advisory Council. We had a page-long mission statement when I started on the board 6 years ago. 5 years ago, we changed it down to a paragraph. And last year it changed to just 2 words: celebrate preservation. So everything they do within the mansion is to preserve the integrity and the history. And there's the celebrate part, which is all of the events that are held there. So it's just 2 words. What does a larger corporation use for their mission statement? I used Minneapolis-based Target to make Target the preferred shopping destination for our guests by delivering outstanding value, continuous innovation, exceptional guest experience, and by consistently fulfilling our promise, expect more, pay less brand promise. So they're talking about the value, and then their continuous innovation. So that is a huge corporate-wide endeavor to get people thinking outside the box, which makes them unique and sets them apart from other big box retailers. So think about your mission and just think about making it as clear and concise as you can. And here's 2 examples of that. So the mission is, what is your purpose? What are you doing today to help your customers? And then there's vision piece. Where do you see yourself going in the future? So here is where you have a chance to aim big. And it's helpful to have a vision. So I call it your bus. Your business has a bus, and you want to make sure everybody's on board the bus and you're driving down that lane. Everybody's on board. Everybody clearly understands where the bus is going, and they're going to make sure that every day they fulfill the mission to try to get you to what that vision is. So when we are creating a vision statement, what are your hopes and dreams for the company? What problem are we solving for the greater good? Who and what are we aspiring to change? What are our hopes and dreams for our company? I would like to help as many small businesses as I possibly can. I specialize in working with women businesses too, all businesses. But if I can help 100 businesses a year, help them succeed and thrive, then I am creating the vision that I want, the hopes and dreams that I want. And the problem I'm solving is to make sure that they can have the marketing tools they need to be able to do it in-house. It just takes time and not any dollars. So think big. This is the year to think big. Here are some examples of some large companies and their vision statements. Nike wants to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. So obviously that is a huge vision. Every single athlete in the world they want to bring to. Walmart wants to be the destination for customers to shop money no matter how they want to shop. So that means whether it's online, in the stores, through an app, they're going to find as many ways as they can. Visa is to be the best way to pay, to be paid for everyone, everywhere. So again, these are grand, large visions. Google is to provide access to the world's information in one click. And McDonald's is to be the world's best quick service restaurant experience. Tesla to create the most compelling electric car company of the 21st century. So they want to be on that forefront. So again, just some ideas of what vision, the grand vision moving forward, where you want your company to be. Also on your, I'm just going down some of the list of your, sorry about that, your marketing plan. Mission, vision, we're going to talk about ideal customer. And then the fourth one on the list is your differentiators. How are you different from your competitors and what makes you special? How I differ personally from my competitors is I just do the training piece, and a lot of my competitors just do the doing piece. So I am also different because I custom tailor each of our sessions exactly to what that business is and what that business needs. So try to think a little bit outside the box, because a lot of my clients just say, we have exceptional customer service. Well, that's exactly what everybody else in your industry that's the same business as yours thinks, that they are the ones that have better customer service than everybody else. So obviously, what does that mean? How do you provide that better customer service? Do you have an email list that you send them emails to keep them updated? Do you send folks birthday cards? Do you offer some services where you can bring your products if they just pull up curbside? So exactly what is that differentiator? How are you different from your competitors? So that means in order to define your brand differentiation, you need to ask yourself, what am I amazing at? Once you find your key differentiators, you'll need to reflect that across all marketing channels. What am I amazing at? So you get up this morning, log on online, and you get to write a sentence about what you're amazing at. And I'm sure you're all amazing at so many things. So yay. So this is a win for us. We get to talk about how amazing we are. As you can tell, I'm an only child, so I love to talk about how amazing I am and what I'm amazing at. So this would be an easy exercise for me to figure out. So focus on the how and not the what. How do you are you a painter? Are you a plumber? Do you sell clothing? So how do you do that? How, if you're service based, are you immediately following up with customers? Are you on time, timely? Do you provide good estimates? Do you clean up after yourself? You know, focus on that how. If you're selling a product, are you always have products in stock that they need? Are you super helpful when they need it? How do you get them coming back time and time again?
Molly, this is Rebecca. It looks like we have one question from Julia and Tom in Isanti County. Julia and Tom?
Are you familiar with EOS? And they talk about the three uniques, like Southwest Air says we want to be on time, low cost, and friendly. Now, Spirit is low cost. They aren't friendly. They aren't on time.
Okay, was that a question? I heard.
But I think Tom is interested in understanding if you're familiar with EOS and its three uniques.
Yeah, a little bit, but Sandy Voigt is definitely the expert on that.
Great, thanks so much.
So this section, moving on here, is your ideal customer. And I know I have a lot of clients that say, everybody is my customer. But when we're in marketing, casting that wide of a net is going to be extremely hard to do. If you're trying to market to 20-year-olds on Snapchat or Instagram while also trying to market to 70-year-olds through newspaper ads, it's just going to spread yourself too thin. So really think about your favorite customer. I really try to think about, I have one client and she's awesome and she's, super supportive of me. I'm super supportive of her. She reaches out whenever she has any questions. She refers me to her friends and family. So she's great. So if I can just get 10 more of her, of 10 more Judys, I'd be set and happy in my business. So really think about who's your best customer. Somebody that is so easy to work with, refers you, thinks you're fantastic. So why don't we just try to focus on getting more of the customers you like rather than spreading ourselves way too thin by trying to market for all of these people. So when you're thinking about your Judys or your Marks, your fantastic customers that you love and you want more of, really think about where they hang out, where they get their information. If they get I am known for social media, but if they get their information, if you're from a small town and everybody reads the local newspaper, then maybe we need to talk about getting some press releases written for you so you can get some free marketing that way in your local newspaper. What are their challenges and frustrations? Are they, busy working parents and don't have time to use your service or buy your products? How can you help them? Can you one day a week stay open later so that you can accommodate them? What are their goals and priorities now? Really think about it. And sometimes it's hard to do because we're so immersed in our businesses that we're really thinking about, I provide this service to you. And I'm not thinking about what my potential client is thinking about. Maybe they're thinking about this past year that they've been laid off. Maybe they're really wanting to follow their passion and start their own business. They don't know where to start. So maybe I do a social media post that's like, are you ready to switch careers? Do you want to start your own business? I can, let's have a half-hour session and I can help you talk through some things, marketing wise, to see if that's something that we can get you going on. We can get some dollars in the bank marketing your products or services so that you can make that dream and quit your job and start your own business. So really, when you're talking to your ideal customer, and that's that favorite customer that we have, really think about how they spend their days, what brands do they like, what is their preferred method of communication? Are they on Facebook? Are they on Instagram? Are they just reading the paper? Are they listening to podcasts? Are they reading your local newspaper? Are they listening to the radio? Where do they get their information? What phrases and language do they use so that you can talk in that language? What is their budget? And what does the day in the life look like? What makes them happy? So you're really talking and sharing information that's relevant to your ideal customers. And eventually you'll find more. I know that Apple's marketing markets to a totally different demographic than mom, but I really resonate with their content. And so I purchase Apple products. But again, it's not necessarily tailored towards me, but I resonate with the content that they provide. So we're not just going to be talking about I provide service A and I sell product B. We're really going to talk about everything else that encompasses your brand. So we're going to be talking about if all of your, for example, I worked at Duluth Pack for 11 years. And so when fall came around, most of our hunters belong to a Ducks Unlimited organization. So then I reached out to Ducks Unlimited, donated a bag, put our catalog on all of our chairs. I'm reaching them, not by talking about an ammo bag, but I'm reaching out, talking to them in an organization that they all believe in, saving the wildlife in areas and habitats for the animals. So think about all the extra things and encompasses a brand. I talk about a lot of my clients come from obviously the North Shore Duluth area. So we spend some time talking about that because the weather. And I think everybody's got their air conditioners on pretty loudly today. Mine is in the background too. Hopefully you can hear it, but we're just join the conversation and become a brand rather than just solely talking only about what you do, but really concentrate on what's going on in your customer's life and how can you join the conversation that they're having. And then once you create that content for your ideal customer, if I'm going to be talking about what they're talking about, You can share that content by going to a conference. I know that that's always helpful. You can share it on social media. Email marketing, I can't stress enough how important that is. And a lot of businesses really forget that. So if you don't do any email marketing, I would highly suggest you start collecting email addresses now. Collecting email addresses at any events that you're at, collecting them through a website. You can pretty easy now add a little contact us button on there now. But we know it's effective because just look at our email inboxes and how all of the large corporations send them out on a daily basis. You don't need to be that annoying. You can send them out monthly and talk about your products and services, and then also add some other content, things going on in your area, things going on in the community. But you have to send information out through email to get people to come back to you, to your website, to your social media, to purchase your product or your service. And next, we have to make sure that we have clear branding, that everybody can easily identify who you are. My husband has an interior painting business, was not excited about paying money for a logo, but once he did, it's a paintbrush that says DP for Duluth Painting in it. He loves it. He got t-shirts made and business cards, and everybody recognizes him around the internet when they see that symbol or they see him with the t-shirt on. So it's a very good messaging. And I know if you had a logo that was done 20, 30 years ago, it needs to be updated. It definitely needs to be clear and concise and updated. And I've had clients that have had a logo that they've had for years and years. It was on all their vehicles, on all their buildings, and they're really excited to get it updated, and will slowly change out the new logo to other things. But really having clear, concise, and that's the first thing when I'm working with a client, even if it's just me as a sole proprietor. I just had a new logo made. I'm really excited about it. It has clear coloring and branding, and then it matches. So everybody that sees that symbol will know that it's me. And this is the part where we have the activity where I want you to take this time now to work on this marketing plan. I want you to take time to jot down in your activity book thoughts about a mission, thoughts about vision, thinking about who your ideal customer is, your favorite person. And I think just writing that down, 1 or 2 people that have been fabulous to work with, and really concentrate your marketing around who those favorite people are, what your differentiator is, so you can start to talk about that. And then I have a promotion strategy. How do you tell your story? And that just means, are you telling your story? Are you sending out emails? Are you posting on social media? Do you have a website? Do you do any advertising? And then referral strategy. Those are our Judy's and our Marks. What story do they know your story? My clients are just like, Molly is great. She does training. She trains you to run your own business, and we have a good time in our training sessions, and then she releases you and lets you go, but she's always available for questions. So they're able to say, Molly's not going to do your marketing for you. She's going to tell you what you need to do to market yourself. So let's take, Rebecca, I don't know what you think about that. If we just want to take a couple minutes. So I want us all to really take time for yourself and your business to get these thoughts down. So we're going to walk away today with a marketing plan, so you can clearly define your messaging moving forward in 2021. So I think we'll maybe take about 5 minutes or so. I'm not sure what's allocated for this. And I'll be here, so you can hop on and ask questions if you're having trouble figuring out your mission and vision, or your panelists as well. So let's take, I think it's 9:25. So we'll take until about 9:30 or so, and really grab your workbook and start filling it out.
Molly, are you okay if I share my screen quickly and just throw those questions up there?
Absolutely.
And for participants, this is also an opportunity to ask any questions on the material that's been discussed so far. So please raise your hand if you have a question. Alternatively, please type your question into the question and answer, and we're happy to provide assistance with any of those questions. Thank you.
It's gonna be fun for me to see if I can get my vision statement down to just like what Glenn Sheen did, just down to a couple words. And if anybody out there has a mission statement they love, like they said, raise your hand and type it in. We'd love to hear what it is. Or your vision statement. Vision statements are fun. Where you see yourself in 5-10 years. Dream big. And one thing about the pandemic is we're all more used to online and virtual meetings. So maybe my vision statement is to work my way up to a pontoon and be having my virtual meetings from there. It sounds lovely today.
Nancy or Sarah in Chisago, can you share how it's going?
Hi, can you hear us okay?
Yep.
It's very quiet here.
We're working hard.
Yeah, we're thinking.
Thinking is good.
Very good.
And I'm kind of looking at my vision statement too as just really some long-term goals. What would be amazing to be doing? What would be amazing for me to be doing in 5 years? I'm excited. Maybe your ideal customer is easy. Maybe you're just writing a name. Bob. Bob's great. We all need more Bob customers in our life. And I'm really excited for you to focus on with the minute we have left to finish up here is really thinking about that differentiator. How are you different from your competitors? What makes you special? that would be really interesting to kind of jump down and define that, because that will help moving forward marketing to really talk about how you are different, to try to convert people over to your product or service by talking about what makes you different. All right, last chance. Does anybody want to share their mission, vision, differentiator, or their most favoriteest customer ever? We were all in a room together, I'd call on somebody. No, I wouldn't. Maybe. Is everybody feeling good? Should we? Oh, here's somebody's mission statement. Providing backyard environments every family deserves. Yes, that sounds amazing. I need that. Don't we all need that?
Carol has a great mission statement as well. It says, shifting subtle energies, promoting self-healing. She has a company, Being You Energetically, LLC.
Nice. I love that. It's really intriguing too. It makes you want to learn more.
The backyard environment sounds, every family deserves. That sounds great too.
I know, that sounds amazing. I deserve an amazing backyard. It's pretty much now it's like dandelions and creeping Charlie. That's about it.
It looks like we do have one participant, Katrina, who raised their hand.
Yes, I am allowing you to talk, Olivia, so you can unmute yourself.
Okay, so you're saying someone who raised their hand and now they're able to unmute themselves and speak. Whoever raised your hand.
Yeah, I unmuted. Were you able to hear my
Yes.
question? It's about, state more about that, please.
Oh, you broke up there a little bit. One more time.
Can you say more about how do you tell your story on this marketing plan, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
So that's your promotional strategy. So that would be who you wrote down as your ideal customer. So if your ideal customer for me is Judy, I know that Judy is a working mom. I know that she has 2 boys in high school, so she's busy running around to activities. And my promotional strategy is, how am I going to tell the story so that Judy hears it and understands it, and I reach more Judys? So I'm going to talk about, is Judy a busy stay-at-home mom with 2 busy boys? So I'm going to talk about, maybe I'll talk about, maybe I'll do a radio ad if I know she's in her car all the time listening to local radio. Maybe that's how I'll share my promotional strategy so that Judys and more Judys can listen. Maybe they are a member of the boys play soccer, lacrosse, and I'm speaking to folks that are in that group online on Facebook. Or I'm talking about, local sporting events in the high schools and, wishing people on to state if any teams make it to state, because I'm reaching a lot of moms then. So it's sharing your promotional strategy. How do you tell your story, and where are you telling the story? So it's more like the Judys of the world, my Judys of the world live on Facebook and Facebook groups. So, or Facebook Marketplace. So I'm going to share a boost to post or share an ad within those groups and spaces. So I'm targeting exactly who I want. Is my target market Mark and he reads the paper every day, the local paper. So I'm going to advertise something in the local paper. Okay, so you're saying that makes sense. So yeah, that's how are you telling your story to get in front of that favorite client that you have, your favorite customer? That was a great question. So we are going to switch back to the presentation and continue on. Oh, sorry, Rebecca, thought I looked ahead of my slides. It could have been right here. Okay. So the next piece we have is in your magic sheet. If you turn to the next page, it is your goals for your business. So now that we know who we're talking to, and we know where we're going to talk to them, we really need to figure out what is your goal for this year. It is starting to be half over, which is crazy because this whole past year has just been crazy. So we're moving into that. So think about goals for your rest of this year and next year. And we always try to say the old marketing adage is make sure it's a SMART goal. I have clients that say, okay, Judy, I'm here to work with you. And what are your goals for the year? I want to increase sales by 50%. Okay, that is specific, but is it measurable and is it attainable? So make sure that you do not set yourself up for failure. Make sure that you really figure out what is your goal for the year. If your goal is to let everybody know that you're back up and open for business, let everybody know what your hours are. Maybe you've added a new product or you've added a new service and you want to get that out. Maybe you want to hire somebody, if you can find somebody to hire somebody part-time. What would that take to hire somebody part-time? So if your goal is, I have 3 goals on the sheet. On the screen, you'll see 1 goal because it is the last half of the year. So if your goal is to hire someone part-time, or you have a new product you want to sell and you want to sell 10 more of them every month. Okay, so what does that mean? So if the goal is to sell more products or hire someone, what are priorities you need to do to hit that goal? If you want to sell more products, okay, what do you need to do to hit that goal? You need to write a press release so it gets in the local newspaper so people know about your product. Maybe you need to do post a picture of it on Facebook and boost the post to all of your Judys or your Marks, your favorite clients. If you want to hire somebody, maybe you need to think about, all right, I need to what could I be doing outside of my business if I have someone coming in working part-time in my business? So what is that? What does that mean? What does this person need to be doing while they're there? Could they be posting on social media? Could they be helping you in the service industry? How many more clients would you need to get to afford to bring on someone part-time? And then some strategies to help you achieve those goals. So a goal is I want to sell more products. What am I going to do to get that? I am going to take some really nice pictures of the product or the service that you provide, these amazing backyards. Get some, maybe it's worth getting a professional photographer in because everything is visual nowadays. Maybe get a video made because 80% of content online that people consume every day is now video, 80%. So maybe that's a goal that you have and it could just be something as easy as picking up your phone and just making a quick video. You don't have to be in it. I know people are nervous about that, and just hit the video button and share that on social media. So I want you to take this time to actually write down one. If you have 3 goals that you want to reach, great, but just make sure that they are, I want 100 clients. Well, let's try to be a little bit more specific and make sure that you can measure that it's attainable, that it's relevant, and it's timely. So let's set a time. If you want to increase your sales by 10%, let's set a time limit and let's really put a plan in place so that you can do that. And that means writing the content that the Judys of the world and the Marks of the world want to hear, not just about the products and services you provide, but other content. If you're a localized service, maybe talk about the parades that are coming up this summer. Involve yourself in the community. Maybe you helped for a Habitat for Humanity, talk about that. So really create other content around just the products and services you provide to create a whole brand and talk to that specific person. So I hope we're fast, and I've got my pencil in my hand, so I'm fast and furiously writing down what my goals are for the business. Then when we move forward, we will have that goal in the back of our mind, and we'll be able to create market ourselves so that we reach that goal. We're not just marketing just to market. There has to be a purpose behind it. And I think a lot of people just say, I'm going to post on social media. It's a sunny, hot day. And they really have to make sure that you have a purpose for what you're doing. Social media is there to be social, but you also have to be part of the conversation that your ideal client is having. So really think about that. You can't just do nothing, especially since the yellow pages used to be what we wanted. So we all named our businesses A1 or AAA so that we could be at the top of those yellow page listings. And that's not relevant anymore. Now it's making sure that you have that online presence. So now that we have our basic framework, our mission and vision, our ideal customer, what makes us different than anybody else and sets us apart, how we're going to talk to those people. Now we can move on, like finally, lady, we're finally moving into the actual marketing tools. So what I just talked about last time is now instead of the yellow pages, somebody said that they did get a yellow pages, but it was really small and it kind of sits on your front porch until it gets waterlogged and soaked from the rain, and then you bring it in and recycle it. So that's kind of what happens a little bit with yellow pages now. I know we still have a book sitting around somewhere, but now what is everybody doing? Hey, who wants pizza tonight? They're going to grab their phone, look up a pizza place, call them, large pepperoni, be there in 15 minutes. That's what people are doing now. They're not pulling out the yellow pages book, searching for the P's for pizza, or trying to figure out the name of the pizza place and then it's alphabetized. They're not doing that anymore. They're on their desktop or on their phones. So you have to make sure that people can find you. So how can people find you? Making sure that you have claimed your Google business listing. Google has already gone out with this little card, driven around, taken pictures of every business and posted it. And you have to make sure that you go to Google My Business, type in your business name and make sure that it's claimed. So then you can go ahead and update your hours and add photos and get reviews and answer reviews. We'll talk a little bit about that. Set up a Facebook business page. I have a lot of clients that aren't really on Facebook, but I say, hey, let's set up a Facebook business page. It's another billboard on the internet highway. Fill out your information, the hours that you're open, where you're located, the products and services that you have. And then I just say, thank you so much for stopping by. If you want more information, please call or email because I'm busy working in my business and I'm not on social media much. So then people understand, oh, they're still in business. They're just busy. So they're not going to post every picture, everything every day. Yelp, make sure that you go on to Yelp. And these are for businesses, not Google Business or Facebook. Any service-based industry can do that. But if you have a physical retail, if you have a physical location, then make sure that you're on Yelp as well, because oftentimes the Apple system, Apple phones will pull content from Yelp and give that as your information on your opening hours. Yelp, you have to pay for some upgraded services, but if you have a physical location, do everything that you can for free. Go to Yelp, register your business. So make sure that you control your opening hours. Because I have a restaurant that I help and it's so frustrating for them when their customer comes in and says, you said you were serving lunch at 10, or you said that you were open today. And I'm like, well, we don't have any help, so we closed on Mondays. Well, how is your customer supposed to know that just for the month of June, you're closed on Mondays? But you can control all that by claiming these local listings. And I have an example of some homework if you haven't done it already, to go to google.com/business. I've circled, it's a big blue button, manage now, and claim it. You can maybe see in the upper right-hand corner that I have a little arrow pointed to the circle. That circle is my Gmail login, because a lot of clients, their kids are working on their computers, their husbands, their partners, family, using their computers. And when they try to log back in, it says that they're not registered with a Google Business account. It's because they're not logged into their email profile. So that's just a little advanced tip. So this is how you can claim your listing. I have a Google Business listing. I don't list my physical address on there, but it circles Minnesota and Wisconsin because that's my service area. But people can easily find me on there because I've claimed that space. And Google owns 96% of the global market share, 96%. So it is a powerful tool because it is the very first thing that appears. You know, when you grab your phone and you look at restaurants, it gives you 3 restaurant choices. So if there are more than 3, if you own a hair salon and there's more than 3 of you, you want to make sure that you're actively on your Google Business listing so you can break into that top 3, because it only gives 3 results before you have to open it up and see more. Do we have some questions going on, or are we all good? I will move on. If it's the very first time claiming your Google Business, you will get a postcard or they'll call you and give you a code to just verify that you're a real person. Here is an example of my Google Business listing, and there's my logo in black. I also have that one in white, so you can clearly just see my color scheme that matches all throughout my branding. You have, this is the photo that I had, this computer photo. Is there a question?
Looks like we're good, Molly.
Okay, great. So this photo of this computer is on my website and my LinkedIn business profile, my Facebook business profile. So it's my branding is consistent all the way across. You can see here that I have a service area and I don't have an address. You can see that I am now open. You can see that I have 29 5-star reviews. So that is helpful as well for getting up higher on marketing lists, because I have a lot of reviews and I've answered all of them. There's an opportunity on your Google Business profile to add a description. So I put lots of good keywords that people would be searching for, rather than just saying Molly Silberg does training and speaking, because no one's looking for training and speaking. They're looking for social media help, social media advertising, email marketing, all those kinds of things. So again, with 98%, 96% of the global market share, making sure that you have a Google Business profile is pretty huge. And if you have any questions about that, I'm obviously happy to help. You are able with your business profile to look at insights. How many people visit you, how many people search you and find you, how people look at your photos. People can send you a message and make sure if somebody leaves you a review or has left you a review, that you go and answer that review. Because 91% of consumers say that positive reviews make them more likely to use a business. So people might leave reviews on your website, people might leave reviews on TripAdvisor or on Facebook. This is the most important thing, the most important place that people can leave you a review, because it gets you found on all search engines. So make sure that you ask your customers to leave you a review on Google and that you answer it. And when you answer a review, it shows that you care, and it will help your search engine. It will help you move up higher on the list. Here's just an example of some restaurants that are in Ely. Only 3 appear in the listing. So if you're coming out of the Boundary Waters and you're hungry, you're only going to get these 3 listings. I mentioned Ely Steakhouse because they've been around forever, and Insula was a new restaurant, but they actively marketed, got as many reviews as they could, and gained that top spot over someone that had been there forever. So it's important to really keep searching reviews and marketing your business so that you don't become complacent because someone else will open up. They'll be consciously marketing themselves and they'll move into that top spot. And being in that top spot matters. It gets clicked on more than anybody in a second or third position. So just by gaining that top spot, you will get more business, and then you'll help you reach your goal of whatever the goal was that you wrote down a few minutes ago. So this was an activity that we were going to do when we were all on site, but I think we're just going to really think about doing that ourselves. And this activity is in your packet, in your activity packet. And what I do when we are all together is I have each person, we have sit in tables, they talk about what their business is, and then go around the table and each person says what they would type in if they were looking for that. Because like I have the example of a plumber. A plumber says, my keyword is, I'm just going to talk about, I'm a plumber, I'm in plumbing. And I am going to talk about a flooded basement, leaky toilet or faucet, clogged drains. That's what I'm typing in. So really think about it from your Judy's or your Mark's perspective. What are they going to type into this Google search box to find your business? And it's not necessarily going to be Molly Solberg marketing or marketing training. They might talk about, how do I market a new business? How does an entrepreneur market themselves? So those are the things that, so really think outside the box. If you have somebody nearby, say I own a thrift shop. And so I would say, I'm looking for secondhand clothes, used clothes, cheap used clothes. Those are things that I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to be looking for used furniture, some of those kinds of things. So people are not necessarily going to be typing in exactly your business name, or they will. I mean, those are customers that know you, but we want to attract more customers. So how do we do that? And we really reach out and think how they're thinking. So we're just going to take a minute and take your little activity box with your little Google search bar. And just write down some words that you think people might type in that are relevant to your business. All kinds of activities. We could have put crayons. If we were all together, we'd have crayons on the desk. You're writing in colored markers.
And if anyone would like to participate as an example, please raise your hand. You can share with us about your business, and then others can answer in the chat the keywords that pop up in their mind about your business. Oh, we got a hand raised. Katrina?
Yay.
Yay.
Hey, Carol, you can unmute yourself.
Hi, my business is the Being You Energetically. So I do energy work, Reiki, subtle energy, and ancestral eye readings.
Okay. And I would search for that. If you're doing energy work, why would I, like, what do a lot of your favorite clients, what do they have? Do they have depression issues? Are they feeling not necessarily depression, but are they foggy? Are they sore? Do they have, I've been a sufferer of chronic migraines, and I'm always looking for alternative ways besides so many medicines to feel better. So
I have worked with people with migraines, just general aches and pains. I try to stay away from talking too much about individual maladies so that people don't think I'm trying to be their doctor, but yet that they can still get relief without having prescription medications added to their regimen.
And I think that you just said your keywords right there is finding relief besides medication. And I know, and I don't think you would need to shy away from that. I think people understand that you are not a doctor, and that's why they're finding alternatives, because they have been to their doctor and their doctor has prescribed all kinds of different medications. That's their job, is to prescribe medication, and it's your job to find other relief. So I don't think that you need to shy too much away from that, because there are people like me who have had, been to doctors over and over and over again, and now I need to find something else. So I think I understand that that's not what you are, that I'm finding alternative ways. So I think that you can talk a little bit about some of those maladies so that you can reach out to me. Because if you're just talking about the what you do part, I don't understand how that part is going to help me. But once you start talking about some of those, so maybe some of your keywords are, the common, and I think it's mostly headaches, neck pain, back pain, general aches and pains. So I think that would be helpful to have those be some of your keywords.
Okay, thank you.
Great. And as I'm talking, I'm like, oh, all of the things, Carol, I need help with my things. Oh.
Any more hands to raise?
Okay. Well, definitely use this. I mean, you've taken these 2 hours to really invest in yourself and your business. So make sure you're getting the most out of today's session and really think about some of those keywords and fill some of those out. And if we have questions later on, we can talk about that as well. But make sure that you are writing a few keywords down from your customer's perspective. And if you're having trouble doing it, then maybe ask people in the room there, or ask friends and family what they would type into a Google search engine. Say, hey, you know what I do. What would you type into Google to find me? So the next thing we're going to talk about is, I have in here, in your packet, a marketing checklist. So these are just some things that I go over my clients with to make sure that if they're starting a new business, just a few little things that you can, and if you can check yourself all the way down, then you're sitting pretty good. But just the basic is just, if you're a new business, making sure that you have an assumed name with the state of Minnesota, and make sure that you're renewing it too. So we have to keep up on that. I'm a sole proprietor using my name, but my husband, we have to just keep track of making sure that we renew that on a yearly, or and the Small Business Center is going to be the experts on this. And making sure that you have a new logo, something that's updated and clear to read. Make sure that you have your colors and branding consistent across everything that you use. A slogan or a tagline. I think my website says, helping small business with big ideas. Make sure that you have a professional headshot. It's helpful on especially service-based people. So just make sure that you have a really nice, clear headshot that you can put on LinkedIn, that you can put on a business card, that you can put on your website, that you can put on your Google business profile, so people know you or your team. It just looks better, like a hair salon, when everybody has a professional photo on there. It just makes them look professional and a place where I want to go and get my haircut. Make sure you have business cards, a Facebook business page set up. Again, it's just another billboard on the internet highway. Make sure, if possible, some small businesses just use Facebook as their website. That's fine. The Google business profile also allows you to have a free website through Google, and it's just a picture and your hours and some basic information. And make sure that you've claimed all of your local listings that we had on that earlier slide. Make sure that you have a LinkedIn profile. It's an online business card. If you have a business card, you should have a LinkedIn profile, because they might lose the card, but they'll always be able to search and find you on LinkedIn. And it's, again, creating another billboard for you. I have a LinkedIn profile, and I also have a business through LinkedIn. And it's just super easy to set that up. And join professional organizations, or your local Lions Club. Just be an active member in the community. That's a great way to promote your business. And I'm sure a lot of you are already doing that piece of it. I do talk about Number one, claiming your local listings. And this is number two, it's having a website, because everything that you do is to send traffic to your website. Your website contains everything. A lot of times I'll see something really cool on Facebook, someone's Facebook business page, but then when I go back to it, it's buried because they've written 10 posts since then and I can't find what I'm looking for. But the website, I can always find it. So all of your social media marketing, if you have an article in the newspaper, if you email people, if you have an event, all of that is to drive traffic to your website. It says who you are, what you do, and how they can get a hold of you. And it lives there 365 days a year, 7 days a week. And everybody pretty much now has a cell phone or a computer where they can look you up and order your pizza. And again, you can see my color and my branding is consistent. And here's my website. Welcome, about, services, contact. Easy peasy to make. And this is just a little bit more of the importance of a website. It gets you found. It's your cheapest paid employee. I know people have a hard time spending money having a website created, but it is having somebody sit at your front door 365 days a year, 24/7, giving you all the information. So it is your lowest paid employee. So think of it that way. It's cost effective. It gives you credibility. If I have a tire shop and Rebecca has a tire shop, if I have a website, it just gives me more credibility. People can go on and see the tires that I carry, and they're more likely to use my tire shop than Rebecca's. Sorry, Rebecca. It gives you lasting marketing value. It's a self-service customer support. You don't need someone answering phones. It tells you what, why, where, when. And it increases your service area. So people can access my website from around the world if they wanted marketing training, as opposed to just finding my number in a phone book where I'm only going to be local. Do we have any more questions popping up? Oh, all right. How to create a free website. That's what today is all about, is cost-effective ways to help you market yourself. Wix, GoDaddy, Weebly all have free options. There are going to be some advertisements on it. But if you wanted to get started, another one I should mention too is Google. When you open a Google business page, you can start a free website. So that's another way too. So there are free options. I build a lot of Wix websites for clients, and we try to get every month they offer a 50% off coupon and a free domain for a year. So it's pretty cost effective the first year, and then maybe the second year it's going to cost between $250 or $300. But just think about $300 marketing your business 365 days a year, all year. The third thing we're going to talk about in business is obviously social media. Facebook is number one. YouTube, Twitter is not. Twitter and LinkedIn are not number three. Then there's the little ghost here is how I communicate with my college-age child, and that is Snapchat. So I am on Snapchat every day. And then the power of Instagram. And how visual it is. So if you have a Facebook and an Instagram account and you post the same thing, more people will respond to it on Instagram because it's just more of a phone app. The photo takes up the whole screen. So there's definitely more interaction on Instagram, but Facebook comes up in search engine results. So that is obviously, if you're going to be on one platform, that's the one to be on. Why is YouTube here? YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google and before Bing, and Google owns YouTube. YouTube is also the second largest social media channel. So it's definitely something for you to think about, starting a YouTube channel, and it could just be as easy as making one introductory video. Hi, my name is Molly Solberg. I do marketing training in northern Minnesota, central Minnesota. Happy to talk to you. Please email me. And then I've created another billboard on the second largest billboard that can be on the internet highway. So, and now on social media. Well, here's just a little fun screen to talk about worldwide. Facebook is number one, YouTube is number two. And Facebook broke off their Messenger platform and made that its own social media channel, and that winds up as number 4. And WhatsApp is and WeChat are international. It's used in China and India and highly populous countries. I have WeChat that when my sister-in-law lived in China that we converse through. And Instagram and TikTok, I think TikTok went through the roof when the people were quarantined. I know my husband loved his TikTok. LinkedIn, Snapchat, Twitter, Reddit, and Pinterest. So just a little idea of all the social media channels that are out there. Obviously, Facebook being the most important one. And when we're talking on social media, we really have to take ourselves seriously and figure out what our brand is. I like to have fun when we're doing our marketing presentation. That's me and my style. So my persona tries to be warm and friendly. My tone is trying to be honest with people. I will tell them if their website is outdated and it's going to turn customers away. I will be honest about that. My purpose is to educate and to inform, and then to inspire them to do it themselves. So if you have somebody that's helping you with social media, and when I was at Duluth Pack, there was a team of us. So I made sure if one of us was on vacation and posting, that we had the exact same tone and voice, so you could not tell a difference between the two. We were not going to do OMGs, LOLs, 7 exclamation points, all caps. We weren't going to do any of that. So if you have someone helping you with that, make sure that you're on the same page and that you talk in that same voice. So what is your brand voice? Helpful and informative is my brand voice with a little bit of fun thrown in. Who are you talking to? I am talking to Judy. That's who I'm talking to. I want to get more Judys. I want to get more Marks. What problem are you solving? That's what more marketing is going to these days, is you're solving people's problems. And I know when Carol talked about, she wanted to talk about more of what she does and not about the problem she's solving. I think it's great what she does, but it's not going to convert me to use her services until she can start solving some of my problems. So until I understand, like, oh yeah, I'm tired of taking medicine. Maybe I should try a different method, better posture, better breathing. That would help solve my problem and make me feel better. So think of it a little bit from that standpoint, is solving people's problems. If you sell clothing, I needed something, a nice blouse to wear today. So that is solving a problem. I had a problem. Weddings are back on. So we're all headed to some weddings this summer. Do we have something new to wear? Do we need new glasses? Do we need a haircut? Do we need our vehicle fixed because we have to be driving somewhere? So all of these are things that you could be talking about. We're all getting out and we're all traveling. And I'm sure most of you might have a product or a service that deals with that. Or you're having a wedding in your backyard and you have to have a fabulous new backyard for it. So again, what is your voice when you're talking to people? When you talk to your customers, talk that same way online. Who are you talking to? Our Judys and our Marks. So talk about content that's related to them. And what problem are you solving for them? And this is a really fun exercise that I love to do with my clients. I call these the topic buckets. And the more that we can fill inside those buckets, the easier it's going to be to post on social media. I helped a running shoe company in town. So one of the topics was shoes. Another topic was the clothing and accessories and everything else they sell around that. And then the third one was events, which was Grandma's Marathon or the pub crawl, which sounds like that might be the only way to get me to run, is if I'm going from bar to bar on a pub crawl. I'm in for that one. Grandma's Marathon, I don't think so. I'll cheer you on though. So we filled these buckets with all these different content ideas, so it makes it easy for them. They'll do one bucket one day, 2 days later, they'll post from the second bucket, and a few days later, they'll post from the third bucket, so that they're always varying their content. And I actually think we had a fourth bucket for them, which was a healthy lifestyle that runners have. So maybe it was a smoothie recipe. Maybe it was a yoga class, so they get some stretching in. So it was a whole lifestyle piece. So within the shoes, we talked about all the different kinds of shoes, all the new inventory, soles, laces, mesh, ergonomically correct, the process they had to step on a foot pad that reads your foot. All of those things were revolved around shoes, colors. All of those were different ideas. The bucket was overflowing. Number 2 was all the accessories, and number 3, the events, and number 4 was a healthy lifestyle. So they just rotate between these buckets, and they never had trouble coming up with content, because it's like, oh, I haven't shared a healthy lifestyle tip in a while. I'm going to go to that bucket. It just makes it easier for you to sit down, come up with 3 topic ideas, and then brainstorm under each one. For me, it would be, talking about social media, all the different social media platforms and what's new on them. Maybe the second one is events that I'm speaking at. And maybe the third one is just telling the success stories of some of the clients that I have, and just rotating between those 3. I'm good about posting tips. I guess I'm pretty good about, I don't do a whole lot of the success stories, but I should really be talking about that. So does anybody want to raise their hand and say what their business is? And we can come up with some buckets and topic ideas for you. And if nobody raises their hand, then that's fantastic. You all know your different categories within your business. Maybe it's 3 different services that you provide. If it's a plumber, maybe it's,
Trina, it looks like we have 3 hands raised. Wonderful.
I was having trouble hearing that.
Carolyn,
Hello?
Carolyn, I have allowed you to talk, so you should be able to unmute and talk.
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so my business is architectural services.
Did you say architectural?
Yes,
Okay. So, and is it for residential, small commercial?
a small commercial mostly, and institutional.
Okay, mostly small commercial. So you can talk about, one bucket can be projects that you've done. One bucket could be trends, so that you kind of become the expert on what the new trends are. If it's, something in Windows, or it's energy efficiency, or it's new designs that's more open concept or more closed concept, that they want more office space. So you can talk about trends, you can talk about projects that you've done, and then you can talk about the services that you provide. And so I'm sure the services that you provide, make sure that they're really nuanced, from meeting with the client, drawing up the blueprints, they're having full control over that, how the change orders work. And then maybe you highlight some really cool buildings that you haven't done, but you can certainly do something like that and say, here's heavily populated countries around the world have to be super creative with the buildings that they come up with and the designs come up with. So you like some of those. So it's your projects, it's the services that you provide, and then it's other projects and trends, and then just rotate between those 3.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Well, hopefully that session kind of helped others figure those out, as if you're service-based, like I am service-based.
Katrina, do we have one more hand raised?
Yes, so Straddles, I'm going to be allowing you to talk.
I have a retreat that provides accommodations for large groups, for meetings and overnight stays with cottages, as well as a bed and breakfast. We're a little varied, but we can accommodate those 3 sectors.
Okay, so I heard retreat for large groups and cottages. I didn't hear the second part of it.
And then also a bed and breakfast. So we are licensed as a hotel motel restaurant, as well as have cottages. So we're pretty varied, but we offer the cottages and the main lodge bed and breakfast space with an outdoor kitchen for larger groups, reunions, meetings with overnight stays.
Oh, that's a lot of content right there. So I think we should all head to your place and have the next session there,
Sounds great.
where we can hang out in the restaurant and the cottages and the, so I think you kind of defined it from how varied that you are. So one of your buckets is going to be the retreat and talk about everything that for the large group that you provide. The space, if there's Wi-Fi, conference tables, coffee, show photos the next time you have some of these gatherings, ask permission to take photos so that you have that. So then I can visually see, oh, that is similar to the size of my group. And I love the amenities that they offer. So you're going to talk about the retreats and how that looks like and everything that goes to that. That's one bucket. And then your other bucket is the B&B. So you're going to concentrate more on couples, I would think. And then you talk about what's going on in the area. If there's a city festival or a county event that's going on, talk about that and say that you now have 2 openings for this weekend, last minute cancellations, last minute. So you can come in and witness this event that's going on or parade or whatever it is. And talk about the local area so that you get people to talk about that. And then another bucket could be the restaurant piece of it, if anybody can just come into that. And that could have content for days. I mean, I could look at pictures, food pictures and drink pictures all day long. So make sure that you're varying between those. You're just not always talking about the B&B, or you're not always talking about the retreat, but just show it being used and what I get from it, and then just rotate between your different facets of your business.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
But just make sure that you have make sure that you're taking more photos so they can visually see these retreats. Visually see if it's a corporate group. I can visually see if it's you get some yoga at the yoga folks. I know they like to do little retreats. They like a space where they can have a class, but then they like the amenities and the options of having their own little cottages. So market that. So show the different options, but make sure that you get lots of photos. Great question.
Thank
And I would
you.
like to come and visit.
Yes, I would love it.
All right. Thank you for sharing. So I think that kind of gives everybody an idea. Just think about the different facets of your business. And then just make sure that you're rotating between those. This was a fun little activity. So this is your number 4 marketing tip after local search, website, social media, now creating great content. And remember, we're switching up the content to talk to Mark and Judy and rotate between those. So here's just a little tip I threw in. This is my Facebook business page, so that a lot of times clients don't know how to schedule a post. I don't have time, is what I hear from every client. I don't have time. Okay, we're going to set aside a Sunday or a Monday once a month or twice a month, and we're going to take in photos of your products and services throughout the month, and now we're going to schedule them all. And they've changed Facebook has changed how they've done that. So this is from a desktop, laptop. This is what it looks like. You're on your page. If you're on your phone, you have to download the Facebook Business Suite. So download that app. So if you have a Facebook business page and you have a Facebook icon, also download the Facebook Business Suite app. It's a blue square. And if you want to publish a post, if you want to schedule it, you're going to sit down and get it all done. You're going to go into your business page that looks like this, and I've circled and starred a publishing tool. So hit the publishing tool button. It will take you to this screen. If you have Instagram tied to your business account, which is easy to do, I would just click this box here. This is my Instagram profile, and it would post to both locations. So you're posting to both spots, and that's fine to do if you have limited time, is to post to both spots. The only thing I'd recommend is Instagram likes between 7 and 11 hashtags, and that's a whole other session to talk about that. Facebook doesn't. Facebook doesn't like any hashtags. We see hashtags on Facebook and it's like, it's confusing and scary. We see them on Instagram, we're like, yep, this is where they should be. So if you want to publish or you want to schedule a post, you're going to hit this create post button. You are going to add a photo, because Instagram, if you're posting on Instagram, it requires a photo. If you're only doing a text ad, then you're only going to be able to post that on Facebook. So you're going to write your content, add a photo, and then right here is a blue publish button. And then next to it is a blue square with an upside down white triangle. So rather than hit the publish button, you're going to hit that triangle and up pops up a schedule post button. So again, from your home page, publishing tools, create a post, create your post, hit the triangle to schedule your post, and then it looks like this. And I've tried to go out to August 2021 to see how far I could go. It said scheduled posts need to be shared between 20 minutes and 75 days from when you create them. 75 days. So you have 75 days worth of content that you could be loading up out of your buckets and rotating. So now there isn't an excuse that you don't have any time, because I'm asking for 1 day in 75 days to go in and schedule a bunch of posts. And you can click the dates. Don't be so concerned about the time. The time doesn't matter so much anymore, because Facebook waits until you start getting traction, and then it shows it to more people if you start getting more traction. So oftentimes a post from the Glen Sheen, I'll see it 2 days later because everybody started liking it. Facebook's algorithm decided it was relevant content, and then it showed me. So just schedule it between, 9 and 5, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I mean, that part of it is fine, but go in and grab content from your buckets and schedule it. We're going to be busy now with the summer season here. It's not even summer yet, but it's feels like it. So that's just a little tip. So now you can't tell me that you don't have time. And if you're also struggling for content ideas, look at the people that have $1 million marketing budgets and see what they're posting. If it's relevant to you, copy that idea. Let's not reinvent the wheel. We don't have $1 million marketing budgets, so let's see what they're doing. Amazon is saying, fun fact, the past year, Pet Parents bought $300 million in dog treats from small and medium-sized businesses who sell on Amazon. So they're trying to promote small businesses that have an Amazon shop, have bought a lot for their pets. I can vouch that this is probably a true statistic, because I have my sleeping dog behind me who has all the treats that she's laying on right now. All of her little toys she's laying on very comfortably. And Target is talking about Target deals are back in June. So maybe if you have a retail location, you have deal days where you offer some percentages off. Again, they found something that works, so we're going to reinvent the wheel. If you are a plumber, then look at a national plumber and see what they're talking about on their social media sites. If you are a boutique, look at a clothing store that you emulate. That's a popular one, and see what they're posting, and just take that content and make it alter it so it's relevant to your business and post that. So let's make it easy on ourselves, and let's just see what the people with big budgets are doing, and we'll copy that. Now we are going to talk about number 5 is some free tools that you can use. Again, we're trying to make it as easy as we can and as cheap as we can to market your business. So the number 1 free tool I use is Canva, which is CANVA.com. canva.com. And it is a graphic design. I don't have any graphic design prowess. When I was at Duluth Pack, the first thing I did was hire a graphic designer to take care of all that. I don't understand that, but Canva makes it really easy for me. When you go, do I want to create a presentation, Instagram post, a logo, a poster, a flyer, a print material, a video, and I just click on Instagram post and I go to Father's Day and I look at all the backgrounds that they have. A lot of them are free. And I click on one that I like. I add a text box and say Father's Day sale, at Ollie's Boutique, Friday, 8 to 4, and my address and my phone number. So it makes it really easy to add content. So the best free marketing tools, there are a lot of them out there, but these are the ones that I use the most and recommend to my clients. Again, number 1 is Canva, the graphic design software. Number 2 is Buffer, which helps your social media and streamlines your social media posting process. They do have paid versions, but they also have a free version. The third one is Google Analytics. It is a free piece of code. You sign up for analytics, you give them your website, and it gives you a piece of code to put on your website. So you can either Google how to do that yourself or ask your IT person for help, but it has all of your customer information on it. Their ages, male, female, if they're using all mobiles or desktop, where they come from, what state, what city they come from, what they're doing on your website, what pages they're looking at, where they leave your website. If there's a page where everybody's dropping off and not continuing through to buy your products or call you for your services, it's huge. And I give full presentations just on the power of Google Analytics. Number 4 is Unsplash. This is a free, or PicWizard, are free professional images you're allowed to use. So if you are only using your phone and you're not able to take good images, go to Unsplash or PicWizard. And I researched Northern Lights and created a website for a client who had Northern Lights in their business name. I've gone in and created a daycare website. So I went into Unsplash and found a lot of pictures of children or daycares, a lot of art supplies, backyard games, all those kinds of professional photos I had to make the website or the social media content look great. This one, number 5, is a fun one. If you write a lot of blog posts or press releases, there's an article title generator. So just Google that, article title generator, and it gives you some really cool, type in what you're talking about for a blog post, and it spits back a really cool title generator for you. And number 6 is keywordtool.io, and that helps you find, remember we were doing that little Google activity? Well, it helps you find the keywords around what so maybe Carol can go to keywordtool.io and enter in what her business is, and it will tell you what everybody else is searching for that's relevant to that business. So that is a helpful tool. And then we're going to use those words in our content so that more people will find us. More of your target market will find you if you use those keywords. Because again, people aren't going to be searching for Molly Solberg marketing if they don't know me. So I'm going to be talking about the keyword marketing training. I'm going to be talking about social media marketing tips, free marketing tools, all those things that someone might be searching for. And I'm sorry to bring up the future of marketing when so many of us are struggling with what we should be doing today, but just so you're aware of what's coming. And again, video streaming was 75% of all internet traffic, and now in 2020 it was 80% of all traffic. And there is a little live version, which is very scary and daunting for some of us to hit that live button, but it is watched 3 times longer than a pre-recorded video. And again, when Glenn Sheen goes live to just, walk the grounds and look at various stuff, people just watch, stay tuned. It saves it, and sometimes it appears in my Facebook news feed a day later. So even though it is live, and when you go live, it notifies all of the people that follow you. Because you know, if you post something, it's seen by about 5% of your followers. If you go live, it notifies everybody. So you can just go live and just, hey, you don't have to point the camera at you. You can point it at, your shop or your services and just say, hey, I just wanted to take a minute to say hi and let everybody know that I'm, have some openings available for my services, or just want everybody to know that I'm, the architect. I'm just going live to show you a project that I just finished, and we're just going to take a little walkabout, and I'm going to show you, what I did in the conference area and what I did outside and inside, and just walk around and show people that. Because mobile video, average viewer is expected to watch 40 minutes of videos online on mobile every day. 40 minutes, we're on our phones. And I can just do 40 minutes in TikTok alone. So video needs to be part of your future. Maybe that's a goal you write down. That helps you reach your goal, is creating video, because if you create video content as opposed to just writing sale today, if you walk around and show everybody what's on sale, you're going to sell more products and reach more people than if you were just to type something in there and say sale today. Another thing to talk about in the future is artificial intelligence. And what that means is search engines are getting smarter and smarter by creating artificial intelligence. So if you own a niche business, that you can own that space. So I can be, a marketing trainer for all of Northern Minnesota, because I'm going to own that space, and I am going to create a blog post that's all, free or low cost marketing tools, all of those things that people might search for, because the search engines are getting smarter and smarter, and they're going to find that content that I've written. They're going to scrape my site, scrape my website, and save all those keywords in its file. And then it's going to show my results to the possible potential future customer and client. So you can kind of own your space as art. And another thing about artificial intelligence is the #1 Christmas gift the last 3 years in a row were the Google Homes and the Alexas and the talking devices. So now more people are asking questions. Siri, what was the most popular song of 2019? Or what's the weather like today? Or what do I do for a clogged drain? So that tells us that we should have a question and answer section on our website to show up in search engines for people that are starting to talk more into their devices. And that trend is going to continue. Another trend is a chat bot, and we know that they're annoying when they pop up on their screen, but it's super helpful if I'm trying to reach, I have a Fitbit and the band broke, and there's no way that I could call a 1-800 number and sit on hold all day. A chat bot popped up and I said, my band broke, and they said, send a copy of your receipt in the chat. So I found the receipt in my email, sent it to them, and then they sent me a new one. And it took 3 minutes. So that's going to be a bit of a trend, and it's just something you can talk to your website provider about. If you sell a lot of products online, it's something to think about. Another future marketing trend is micro influencers. 90% of consumers trust a peer recommendation as opposed to 33 that are trusting ads. So that means all your Judys and your Marks could be micro influencers. Maybe they get a special deal if they refer you, because more people are going to trust Judy and Mark than they are me creating an ad. So find a micro influencer. I run the social media breakfast Twin Ports in Duluth. We have 1,000 members. So oftentimes businesses reach out to me to see if I will talk about their business to get in front of 1,000 other people. Or a micro influencer could be your mayor or city council or somebody in the community that's very active, that you can have them help. Hey, I'll give you a free t-shirt if you mention me, tag me in your social media posts. And another trend is shoppable posts. So Facebook is making it very easy to set up a store. You can either link to your website or you can set it up there. Then you're able to share it on Instagram, and you are able to, all of these products, we know that we've seen this before, that we can go in and we can shop some of these items. So that is 72% of Instagram users have purchased a product on the app. So it's a pretty huge number. And even more impressive, 4,000 Pinterest users found that 70% use Pinterest to find new and interesting products. And that's me. I have a board, so I go out and find really cute clothes, really cute jewelry. I put it in a board. My sister-in-law has access to my Pinterest account. She looks at that board and then she buys me some of those products for Christmas. I got it figured out. She's a marketer too. So shoppable clothes are becoming more and more popular. So if you sell products, that's something to think about. And that is all of the presentation I had for you today. You know, if we were all together, we would have had more time to do some activities together, but a lot of us are virtual, so we're going to use this time to ask some questions. But really make sure to go through and fill out your activity book fully so that you really have some fundamental tools in your quiver to use moving forward. Make sure that you have your marketing checklist. Make sure that you've really figured out your mission and vision. And if you have employees, share what that is. You know, do you know what our mission and vision is for this business? They might not have any idea. I just show up and do A, B, and C, and I go home. Well, they're going to be a lot better employee if they're get on the bus and know where the bus is going. Then they're able to be your salesperson and sell more of your products and services. So we can use this time to go back through some of it, or if any of you have any questions. I'm really excited that you all took the time today to try to further your businesses in 2021. And I'm excited for you to use some of these tools and start to see some results.
Molly, we had a question in the chat. So the stat about chat bots, is that the stat mean that 85% are using chat bots versus live chat? Or is it 85% are using chat bots versus in person?
That is a really great question, and I don't know the answer to that. I think rather than I mean, we can go back and research the link and check the statistics, but I just think that the takeaway should be, if you're selling a lot of products online, that you should consider having a chat bot or a live chat available. I know when we were at DuluthPAC, we were considering turning that on. So when the customer service representative was sitting at their desk, they would turn that on as an option to be able to communicate with people without having to call. And then they're able to answer the question when they had time, and then when they went on break, they could turn that feature off. Obviously, DuluthPAC sold 35,000 SKUs on their website, so having that person available for chat was very handy.
All right, and it looks like we have a hand raised from Lynn. So Lynn, I am going to allow you to talk, so you will be able to unmute yourself.
All right, hi, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Okay, I have a question about clarifying mission statement. I am a service provider. I own a salon that does eyelash extensions, eyebrow shaping, lash and brow services. And primarily, I'm focusing on lashes of people that have had maybe their post-chemotherapy, or maybe they've had a bad lash experience somewhere else and they're looking for lash correction and lash rehabilitation. So this is a little bit different than someone that's coming in looking for a glamorized set. I like to work with people that have more fragile lashes that are looking for something undetectable. But I also am very eco-conscious. So I'm working with eco-friendly products, and I'm recycling and using compostable things, and I'm trying to make the salon atmosphere as low carbon footprint as I can. So I feel like these two things kind of work in tandem, but I also feel like for marketing, I don't know if my message gets muddy if I have these two different things to talk about.
Well, I think that sets your vision.
So I think your vision is to create the most eco-friendly, saving the planet. I mean, we're gonna go big on your vision statement. And I think that with your mission statement is that you are helping people feel confident, and having those fragile lashes and having them look better would obviously give people more confidence they need, especially if they're having medical issues like you said. So I think that we can just talk about the confidence piece and making people look as good as they but you're just doing it for their confidence. You're not necessarily doing it for the vanity piece. So really addressing that while making people feel as good and confident as you can by providing services that are eco-friendly and good for the environment. So you can talk about that. And then the content buckets can revolve around, you're going to have an eco bucket, and then you're going to have the lashes for people with fragile lashes and with the medical conditions, and then you're just going to talk about generic people that just want longer lashes. So you can rotate between those 3 buckets.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Great business. Good job. Doing good things.
We also have a question in the Q&A from Becky. She says, you talked about keywords that people would use to Google your business. What do you do with those words once you have your list? How can you use that to help you market?
And I touched on that briefly, but I'll bring that up again. That is, maybe you use those keywords to create a blog, because every time you create a blog that just talks about, the keyword is, how do I start a business, or how do I start marketing my business? I do a little blog post on it. And then each time I create a blog post, the search engine bots come and recognize new content, scrape it, keep all those keywords. And then the next time you are searching online for that content, it'll deliver it. Or you can put it on your social media posts, or you can put those keywords in your Google business description so that more people will find you when they're searching online. You can put it in your, you can ask people to write a Google review that talks about some of those things, because Google uses your description, your category, it uses keywords on your website, it uses keywords that people have left in a review. So sometimes I've searched for a paved driveway, a new paved driveway, but it only shows asphalt companies. But somewhere on their website, they say we pave driveways. And so then their content showed up. So use those keywords in your Google business listing description, use it in blog posts, use it in social media posts, use it in press releases. Great question.
We have another question in the chat, and then I'm going to move to some of the raised hands. But this question is from Eric. He says, Molly, I make handcrafted pens in exotic woods, wine bottle stoppers, and seam rippers for sewers. How would you approach marketing these items?
Well, because you are using exotic woods, they sound amazing. So I think you're really going to rely heavily on having really cool photos done. So you're going to put some of these products on the wood. I want you to show the process. So I want you to show what the wood looks like originally, how they're being hand carved down. I'm really going to become invested in you and your products once I see the whole process being made. I mean, obviously you're not going to give away some trade secrets, but I'm not going to get a hold of exotic wood and whittle it down to make myself a pen. I'm just not going to do that. But I'm going to be fully invested once I see some videos and photos of that process. I think that that's going to be huge for you, photos and videos, and especially creating photos of, the pens being used, the wine stoppers being used. And you are really going to target people that are You know, if you have seam rippers for sewers, you're just going to show that product, and you're going to talk to sewers. Or maybe you have a really cool picture of some really pretty fabric and the seam ripper being used, and then you're going to boost that post to everybody that is in a sewing group. But definitely photos and videos of the process and the products are going to be huge for you.
All right, so it looks like we have a couple of raised hands. So Straddles, I'm going to have you talk first, so you should be able to unmute yourself here shortly.
So yeah, I have a question. We have the retreat with the bed and breakfast cottages and events. So we're constantly growing, of course. At this point, fortunately, I haven't had to do really very much to promote it because we found that we've sort of tapped into a gold mine, so to speak. There's a great demand. However, as we grow and as times change, how damaging is it to reach out and draw in customers and then not be able to accommodate them?
To reach out for customers and then to not have space or anything for them? Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. Well, and then the alternative is to not do marketing and all of a sudden the customers are gone. Right. So, and I think that you can talk about being busy, talk about, you know, we're humbled and honored that we are full this year, but you have to do continuing marketing in case there's a cancellation. You want people to be, you know, coming in. You want to, you know, start booking more in advance. You don't want to fall off the radar. You want to make sure that you're doing marketing and then just talk so people understand. So maybe that's one of your content buckets, is just talking about all the events so people can see like, wow, they've had events, they've posted events like every single weekend. That's so great. I want to make sure that I contact them to get in early next year so that I can get the event that I want.
Okay, wonderful. And then I just have another quick question. What would be really good groups or organizations to target for something like this? I have kind of some ideas, but I can't seem to think of too many.
Well, I think if you're going after some of the corporate stuff, you're going to have to create a LinkedIn page, because you can easily search for CEOs of mid-sized companies and talk directly to them. Like, hey, just letting you know, I looked up your business, it looks great, and we have this retreat center. So if you're thinking about doing something for 2022, we're booking up fast, so let us know. So I think if you're reaching out to corporations, LinkedIn is the place to do that on. I think if you're trying to reach more of the B&B and the restaurant people, you are going to just show photos of two people together having a romantic dinner or walk in the woods holding hands, whatever those things are. So you're going to create content that is visual or on different platforms.
Okay, perfect.
Good problem to have. Just busy. It's great. Anyone else? We have a few minutes left here.
Katrina?
Yep, we have a few raised hands. So Vincent, I'm going to be allowing you to talk. If you can unmute, and then you can ask your question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Vincent.
Good morning.
Vincent checked the box with his headshot, so good job there.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I really appreciate the presentation. It was very, very helpful. And I'm looking forward to working with you all in the future. However, my question is, I work with Legal Shield Incorporated, and when I put that into the Google Business app that you suggested, it wouldn't allow me to go any further. So my question to you is that, as a Legal Shield independent associate and provider of legal services to small businesses and families, we're a service provider. So how will I get Google, the Google Business, to accept?
And I think maybe Vincent, you and I have to work on that independently outside of this, so email me, but you should be able to type in your business name. It's new, it's not going to be there. So then you're going to say, do you want to create this business? So once you type in your full name, it's going to appear below, you're going to click on it. And then the next screen should take you to, do you have a physical location or you provide goods and services? And you would click provide goods and services. You do not have, there's two options. You do not have a physical location, you provide goods and services. So once you click that box, then it will allow you to move forward. So I'm not sure exactly what screen you're looking at. I'll have to walk you through that, but you should be able to go to Google My Business, manage now, type in your business name. When it appears underneath the line, click on it. The next screen should say, or maybe you have to type in your business name again, but the next screen should give you two options: physical location, deliver goods and services.
Okay, great. And then my next question is, would it behoove me, I mean, I do have a LLC, but it's registered in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where I'm from, but I'm here in Northwest Indiana now. Would that make a difference if I entered that as opposed to Legal Shield Incorporated?
That's where I'm going to defer to my SBDC colleagues who are way smarter than me on all things LLC and business setup. So does one of you have an answer to that question?
Vincent, this is Rebecca. I'm the director of the North Central Small Business Development Center. I'll connect with you about this question offline, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
I see one more hand raised. So Eric, I'm going to be allowing you to talk so you can unmute and ask your question.
Oh, Eric popped up. We're just waiting for him to unmute. He's got another question for me.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for Eric to unmute, I have another question in the Q&A from Jenny Hill. She says, Molly listed customer experience as one of her specializations. Could we hear more about what that involves?
Okay, and I think a lot of that came from the Duluth Pack retail store in Canal Park in Duluth and the whole redesign project. And there's the physical, in-person customer experience where we lowered all the shelvings, we made it easy to see clear across. We really took the items that were high ticket items and placed those near the door and ran a sheet of the lower purchase items and placed those in the back of the store and tried to create a Northwoods Cabinet feel. Also, the customer experience is, if you have a website, have friends and family walk through that website independent of yours and ask them to put things in the cart and move around and just really see if it's as fluid and effective as, and have them be honest, like your website doesn't take up the whole screen. It's just takes up the center section. We know it's an old, outdated template. Have them tell you that. Just have them go through your website and figure out if it's easy. If you don't have a website, have them look up your business and see what they can find. Do they find a pretty bright logo? Do they find some really pretty pictures and images that pop up through your Google search result? So step outside yourself, have friends and family go in and view your website and be honest with you, because a lot of times we don't ask for that input. And even when I was at Duluth Pack, we'd have friends and family go in, put stuff in the cart, take stuff out of the cart, try to buy, something from the clothing and then something from a pack and see how easy that was to navigate it. We're just so immersed in our businesses that we never step outside and look in. So really, having friends and family be that customer, have them be that customer and have them be honest about how that experience is, trying to find you or trying to go into your shop, what it looks like. Like the shop looks outdated. Can you add more lighting? Can you add some white shelving instead of the glass shelving? So really trying to get people to be a customer and give you positive feedback. And Eric didn't get himself unmuted, so he might have to type his question in.
Okay, well, I think we're going to transfer it back to Michelle Thomas. The East Central Regional Development Commission is the host of this webinar, and we're happy to hear again from Michelle. Michelle?
Thank you. Thanks, Molly, for all the great information. We really appreciate it. There's a lot to think about and a lot that we can do, whether that we are proficient at marketing or just starting out. So lots of tips. Thank you. We also want to, I want to remind people that as a participant of this event, if you are local, we do have one-on-one follow-up available to you through the Small Business Development Center and the Women's Business Alliance. And if you are not local and would like that or resources that are in your area, please feel free to reach out to us. We're happy to help connect you as best we can. And we will send, if you haven't received this slide deck, we'll send it to you because we do have email contact information in it. So feel free to reach out to any of us. We're all available to help connect you with resources. And we really appreciate you joining us today. And again, thanks to Molly Solberg for all of the great information that she has shared with us today. We look forward to seeing you on July 14th and August 11th for our next sessions. Have a nice afternoon.